I think maybe even Dirty Jersey Rat. Dirty Jersey. Yay! I love that song.
For people who don't know what's been going on. So, Hogs and Heifers is the bar that took over the Sand Dollar where we were last year. A lot of events were scheduled in that space that had to figure something else out because Hogs and Heifers decided they want to charge $25,000 a day to rent the venue out, which well exceeds this festival's entire nut. You know what I mean? So it was unfeasible. And then we made some fun of them and their venue and stuff, and the women run the business, and they said that they were going to get a lot of business from this Viva Las Vegas convention at the Orleans, which is across town. I was mean, I guess. I said a lot of things, and then they went and complained to the plaza management, like they're picking on us, better make them stop. And so I issued an apology. There was a little tongue-in-cheek last week. You know, I'm just having fun. I'm having a goof. And I didn't know. You know, I don't know that. But I should have known, you know. Again, this is a women-owned and run business, so I should have known that they're paying attention to everything said about them on the internet. And, of course, in a woman-like fashion, would respond. If you haven't seen this, I think it happened on Rocco's show Tuesday night. This is when this happened. We're going to go through it today. And it's one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life.
I'd like to perform my rap.
All right, so if you go to our March 19th show, this is last week, and you go down into the new comments a little bit, you'll come across Michelle Del Ramsey. This is the owner of Hogs and Heifers. Has posted a response. And if you want to know what this response is about, let me read the first sentence. Hello, Patrick. Allow me to introduce myself. This is Michelle, the owner of Hogs and Heifers Saloon. I want to make it clear that we were not hurt. Welcome to the Dabbleverse. When you start out an email or a post, she emailed me this too, with, I want to make it clear that we were not hurt. Oh boy. Oh boy. Why? Why? Why do you need to make it clear that you weren't hurt? I wasn't going to bring this email up. I got the email hours before she posted this. It's pretty much the same thing. There might be a little more in the email. I don't know. I wasn't going to bring it up. I was going to let this die. This is bad. This is bad. And if you just want to know how bad it is, let me click read more. Oh boy. Yeah. Look at this. This is how not hurt she was. Holy shit. That's a lot of not being hurt. That's quite a bit of not hurt pouring out. So, shall we? Holy shit. Like, why would anyone write this publicly? So I'll read it and react in real time. This is nuts. Hello, Patrick. Allow me to introduce myself. This is Michelle, the owner of Hogs and Heifers Saloon. Technically, Hogs and Heifers Outpost. I want to make it clear that we were not hurt. You were extreme, so we were surprised and, yes, offended by your lengthy spewing of vitriolic hate and death-rallying venom towards us. And simply wanted the plaza to know what was going on because we did not break any contracts. Yeah, I never have ever said I had a contract with Hogs and Heifers. Also, you weren't hurt, but you were offended. You were surprised and offended at my vitriolic hatred and death-rallying venom. Now, this is insane. I guess I have to understand, like, you know, these poor women, they're running their little bar. You know, they're coyote uglying it up over there, dancing on the bar. Sometimes we forget, you know, in this Dabbleverse that we joke in like the most heinous, toxic ways. And when somebody comes in from the outside, like, this can be shocking to them. Like, what did they say? They zoomed in on our heads. What the fuck? So it's crazy, but it lets you know again just how they're feeling it. They want to make it clear they're not hurt, but they perceived what I said about them as death rallying venom and vitriolic hatred, which is not the intention. We do a silly show over here where we just talk shit, and these are jokes. So no one wants you to die, you old nuts. No one's rallying people to spew vitriolic hatred at you. You wanted to charge me $25,000 for a venue. We think that's crazy. I think you'd make more money having people in your bar drinking all the time for days. But you disagree, and that's fine. You're allowed to do that. We did not ask for an apology, nor did we tell them to make you stop. Ask them to make you stop. Now, I never said they asked for an apology. I just decided to do that. I was being nice. Again, hatred, death rallying venom. I took it upon myself to apologize and clear up this situation. We brought it to their attention, expressing our distaste, and asked them you're a bar called Hogs and Heifers that's asking the community to donate antlers to hang on your wall while women dress in you know, plunging necklined T-shirts on the bar selling beer. Why don't you calm down with your distaste? Can we stop? You run an imitation dive bar. It's not even a real dive bar. It's you trying to make it. Can you come down off the high road for a second? It was distasteful. It's just insane. And then we asked them to explain to you that it was their decision to bring us in as a tenant. Do you think I don't know that? They own the building. Do you think that I'm confused about how the relationship between you and them came to be? You're renting space in their casino. I assumed they chose you to be a tenant. I'm not retarded, Michelle Dell. I mean, it's just insane. Knowing full well that we are a theme-driven bar and most definitely not likely to host events such as yours. Fair enough. You can host anything you want at your bar. Your contract is with the plaza. It's not. You don't know anything about my contract. So I'd shut the fuck up, Michelle Dell. You don't know anything about my contract or who it was with. Do you? I don't think you do. I don't think you know anything about what you're talking about. And we'll get to that. They understood that bringing in my brand meant that they would need to relocate their contract obligations for the event in the Sand Dollar space to a different venue on their property. I did not screw over anyone. I never said you screwed over anyone. I never said that. I didn't. I took a lease to operate my business, and the plaza willingly and knowingly chose to lease to me and change the venues for their contracted events. So far, it seems like we're on the same page. Although, again, I didn't have an agreement with the plaza at that point at all. I had an agreement with the Sand Dollar, but I can see how you're confused. We agreed to speak to anyone they sent our way, but we were very clear with them from the beginning of our negotiations that we don't ever close our doors to customers for private events or charge a cover to attend, because we've always been a destination location with a large following since opening in New York City, 1992. So this is the first I'm hearing of this. This was a bar in New York City since 1992. The long and storied journey of Hogs and Heifers. Okay. If you don't ever close your doors to customers for private events, then why did you offer to do it for $25,000 a day? What if I said okay? What if I said okay and paid you $75,000? Then would you close your door to customers? We'll hear the same sentiment later from Mersh, where their scruples are very, very negotiable. We don't ever close our doors to customers unless you pay what we ask. So it seems like you might. We never made any agreement with or any promise with the plaza to honor any of their event commitments for the Sand Dollar space. We told the plaza that we ask a cost-prohibitive amount to close our doors to our own customers if we do agree to host a private event. If the plaza chose not to relay that information to you ahead of time, that's on them. So now she's throwing the plaza under the bus. Again, she has no idea what the plaza and I talked about at all, but here she is saying like, oh, they must have not kept you in the loop. They must be fucking you over. But that's not true either. Perhaps it was slow on the day you came in. Because I talked about being up there and peeking my head in, and it wasn't very busy. So now, the woman who's not hurt at all is going to defend why the business was empty when I walked in. This is a person who doesn't care. This is a person who's not hurt. And our merchandise line has been expanded considerably over the years due to customer demand. Clearly, we would not dedicate so much space to the merch store otherwise. So here she is now defending why they walled off the room and made it a merch store in their bar. We have a world famous brand. Isn't this what I told you? Nothing I said is disputing any of this. I said that they had a giant following and a big brand, and they cut off half the room to make a merch store. This is what I said. You clearly were unaware that the windows that face the Plaza Casino have always been there. We just removed the curtains that covered them. Fuck! Yeah, are you okay? Fuck! How desperate for wins are we? You didn't even know that there are already windows there. Ha ha! Fuck! Well, I guess I've been put in my place. Well, boy, do I look stupid. The windows were there all along? Oh, shit. Fuck! Guys, we didn't even know about the windows. What the fuck? Fuck! Yeah, are you okay? Fuck! Got it. Can we please get back to this? This is a serious complaint. 3 more hours of reading this email. You clearly were unaware the windows that face the Plaza Casino have always been there. We just removed the curtains that covered them. Great. I've never been more owned in my life. The $8 tequila shot is not for industry night, but for Tequila Tuesday, when we feature specialty tequilas as a promotional partnership with our liquor supplier. Again, imagine arguing all this with a loser on the internet like myself. And another thing about the curtains and the shots. And when I opened in 1992 in NYC, and we're busy sometimes during some seasons. Yeah, maybe the day you were there wasn't busy. And by the way, we never broke your... Like, it's just... Can you imagine what we're going to get into here? On industry night, we offer a $3 shot special and a $4 pint of Hogs Suds. Or both together for $6. Fuck yeah. Next page. Regarding our closing off of the stage area, the half walls we put up are actually a series of interlocking segments that are entirely movable in case we did want to open the space for a special event. I don't care. Who cares? But we closed it off in this temporary manner specifically because we do not want to host live music except for the rare occasion and for punk rock hoedown. The door donation of which goes to a in full to a charitable organization called Punk Rock Saves Lives, which takes place over the days of punk rock bowling, which has been canceled for 2026. Who wanted this update? Who is this email for? No, just so you know, the gift shop walls can come down. They're temporary. We put them up because we don't really even do bands, except for that one time we do bands, Punk Rock Hoedown. By the way, all the money we make from Punk Rock Hoedown goes to Punk Rock Saves Lives, a children's charity, right? And it takes place at the same time as Punk Rock Bowling. But don't worry about it. That's been canceled for 2026. Okay. I just said you were trying to charge me $25,000 a day for a venue, but now that it's fine because we couldn't fit in that room anyway. What is this? The fuck is this? Annually in April, we hold a month-long fundraising campaign for Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation summer program Camp Cartwheel. Okay. We raised the most money over the weekends, and closing for your event would have hurt our ability to raise funds for a program that we have been committed to for over 20 years, and one that counts on our funding to pay for over half of the 200 plus kids at $300 a child to attend their summer camp program each and every year.
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay. The event we do is called Hog Wild for Kids and supports 2 separate week-long camp experiences for local children suffering from life-threatening illnesses that also include the siblings of the kids in treatment, which is very special.
Kids are stupid.
Siblings of children with life-threatening illnesses miss out on a lot of the financial needs of treating the children stricken with such an illness that are all-consuming. We love the NCCF considers the siblings' needs as much as well. What? This feels like ChatGPT is just hallucinating an email now. This is what does any of this have to do with anything? Congrats, I guess. Slow clap, I suppose. I closed my bar in New York City after 23 years of operation when our term of lease came up and the new enormous multi-billion-dollar real estate fund that had purchased the building raised the rent to roughly $700,000 a year. So you closed your bar because your rent went up too high. Now this is you complaining in public about that. It seems similar to me complaining in public that you tried to charge $25,000 a day. Let me just do some quick math real quick here. $700,000 a year divided by 365. That's $19,000 a day. That's $1,900 a day. That's $1,900 a day that you would have had to pay for rent in New York City. You asked me to pay $25,000 a day. You closed your bar after 23 years because they asked you for $1,900 a day. And yet you wanted me to pay $25,000 a day. Uh-oh. Seems exorbitant. All I said was you were charging a crazy fee. That's all I said. You're allowed to do it. I'm allowed to not pay it. You're allowed to ask for it. And then we move on. Just like when you closed your bar in New York City after 23 years. It sounds like you understand exactly what I'm talking about. The other interesting thing I have to say is you said you came to New York, you came to Vegas in 2025 because you had a world famous brand and the city of Las Vegas asked you to move here. But then 2 paragraphs later, you say that you closed your bar because rent was too high and you couldn't make it. Which is it? Did you move your bar from New York because the city came knocking? The mayor hit you up. Can you please bring your world famous bar to Las Vegas? That's what you said happened. And now down here, you're a victim. They raised the rent too much and we couldn't afford it. Which is it? Which is it? Did you move to Vegas because they asked you to? The city came calling? Or because you had to close your bar in New York City? Which is it? I'm just asking. It simply was not doable in a 900 square foot establishment. The circumstances were similar with our 3rd Street location here, and after 20 years of operations on downtown 3rd, I decided to put it all on the line and buy a half acre on Main Street, just 2 blocks south of the plaza. We are presently only at the this bitch don't know how to use commas at all. This is a running theme. Like, she just puts commas in where they don't belong. We are presently, comma, only at the plaza temporarily. You don't need a comma there. We're presently only at the plaza temporarily. No comma. No comma. Just type. Just type. You'll see it. I can't even call it out how much she does it. Just commas for no reason. We are presently, comma, only at the plaza temporarily while we build out the new property. During a 6-month closure, I kept my management team on at full salary and held all of our charitable events at great expense despite no revenue coming in. Yeah, like I said, you're bad at business. I kept my management team on at full salary and had all our charitable events at great expense with no revenue coming in. 2/3 of my previous employees happily returned when we reopened the plaza, and we feel blessed to be able to operate at the plaza and get all of our people back to work. But by no means were we desperate. So you had bartenders who sat at home for 6 months and didn't work while they just collected money from you, and now you're happy to put them back to work? Again, it's cool that you were able to do that and take care of your employees. I'm not putting that down at all. But couldn't they just go out and get other jobs? Can you imagine owning a bar and you lost your location, your bar shut down, and you just kept paying your bartenders? It's admirable, I guess. But it also seems dumb. Go get another job. We are presently, comma, only at the plaza temporarily while we build out the new property. During a 6-month closure, I kept my management team on at full salary and held all of our charitable events at great expense despite no revenue coming in. Yeah, like I said, you're bad at business. I kept my management team on at full salary and had all our charitable events at great expense with no revenue coming in. 2/3 of my previous employees happily returned when we reopened the plaza, and we feel blessed to be able to operate at the plaza and get all of our people back to work. But by no means were we desperate. So you had bartenders who sat at home for 6 months and didn't work while they just collected money from you, and now you're happy to put them back to work? Again, it's cool that you were able to do that and take care of your employees. I'm not putting that down at all. But couldn't they just go out and get other jobs? Can you imagine owning a bar and you lost your location, your bar shut down, and you just kept paying your bartenders? It's admirable, I guess. But it also seems dumb. Go get another job. Your comment that it's obvious that a woman-run bar, which you mistakenly think is a flash in the pan, will be out of business in a matter of months. It's indeed laughable and screams of your own ignorance and failure to have done your research. I can pretty much guarantee you I never said your business will be you'll be out of business in a couple months. I said that you have a 6-month lease at the plaza. I'm well aware that you're building a permanent location. That's all I'm saying. I never said you'd be out of business. And by the way, no one thinks that women can't do stuff. It's a joke. It's a joke. Thanks for proving me right, you sense of humorless hags and heifers. Of course you can do business. You've clearly been ruining this same business since 1992. You failed in New York City with it. You failed at 3rd Street. And now you'll fail at your new location. And you'll have a whole string of new paragraphs to write. The next guy who pisses you off. This is a hell of an own to send me paragraph after paragraph. Here's why my bar didn't work in New York. And here's why it didn't work at the 3rd Street location. And now we're only here for 6 months, but our next one will be the one we get it to. Okay, got it. Success. Got it. I'm kidding. There are plenty of women who can do anything plenty of men can do, and vice versa. There are a lot that can't. That has nothing to do with anything. Everyone I'm dealing with at the plaza is a woman, and they're all fantastic. They're all very capable. They're awesome. Okay? So if you think there's something genuine behind me ragging on you because it's a woman-owned bar, I'm teasing. It's not real. Again, this is a show hosted, it's a comedy show by a blustery asshole. Grow up. No one thinks you're inferior. This is so defensive. It's unnecessary. Unnecessary. I am glad to know the plaza is going out of its way to accommodate your event. They should indeed do so. And I might add, they have no choice but to do so, as they have a contract with you. Perhaps they will think better of it in the future. I'm expecting nothing from you either. Let's scroll this up. I'm expecting nothing from you either, other than perhaps more vitriol for contacting you. I imagine you will read only portions of this email on your podcast and do so out of context as to continue to serve your hostile narrative in an attempt to keep alive your misplaced anger and sob story over having to spend some more money to produce your own event. I got plenty of sob stories about spending money for this event. I got plenty of them. Don't worry about it. I'm reading the whole thing. I'm reading it in context. She thinks that I'm going to hide this fucking inkjet killer of a message from you people because this is going to make me look bad. I mean, this is insane. You'll never read this in full. You wouldn't dare. Okay. I do, however, wish you great success with your event. I can understand the frustration with the increased costs attached to the different venue this year. When you do your own thing, it requires continued increased investment to grow, as I am well aware of. So as you say, get over it and get over yourself. Boy, she remembers every little thing I said. It almost sounds like she's hurt, but she said she wasn't. I do 4-hour charity events with children that have larger turnout than your 3-day event. The annual event costs their families nothing to attend, and their children leave with armfuls of toys and craft items that they make at the event. Not every event is a moneymaker, but tradition does matter. We remain committed to them and our community as a charitable engagement and contribution to others is very important to me and my brand culture, which I have spent 34 years dedicated to. In between your too long dramatic, again, look at this comma. In between your comma, too long dramatic silences and boyish outbursts, you should pick your targets with more basis in reality. Have fun with your boycott. As for myself, I'm a woman with too much more at stake. Much greater responsibility and more character than you can possibly imagine. And had the plaza been up front with you, I wouldn't have to waste my time responding to your childish rants. Oh boy. Okay. I am sorry our presence created a kink in the tradition you've been building these last 2 years, but I wish you well in the third. I am also pretty sure we have AV people who would give you a much better price point. Your quote for what you need seems a bit high for a table, some chairs, a few mics, and a projection screen. But perhaps that was just for dramatic flair. Wishing you the best in all your endeavors, Michelle. I hope it makes her feel better. She makes our event sounds like I put up a folding table and some chairs and some microphones. Bitch, you can't wrap your head around what I'm dealing with this room. Again, I was in the room you're in. I was in it last year. Trust me, you can't wrap your fucking head around what we're doing in this room this year. It's a theater. It's a giant theater. Do you know what it takes to make that room feel like a good show? Shut up, Michelle. I can't believe they're charging you so much for a little table, some chairs, and a microphone. That seems a little high. Okay, thanks, Michelle. Got it. Got it. Got it. You put up a merch store so you couldn't have bands in. That's what you said, right? Got it. Got it.
Dirty, dirty Jersey. Dirty Jersey rat, dirty Jersey rat. Dirty, dirty Jersey.
Broke my heart, Dirty Jersey. You broke my heart. Mainly by including Granny. That's my main issue.
You know what? You weren't. I know that your ass was not going to bring this up.